Housing affordability continues to get worse across the country, including here in Tennessee. So Jaxie Pigeon spoke to a housing market analyst to get a better understanding of why prices continue to skyrocket in the volunteer states. So Jaxie, we know this study looks at the increase over the past 5 years.
That's right, Peyton. Jeff Ostrowski at Bankrate says states that saw the greatest increases in needed income were all places that experienced a lot of pandemic-spurred migrations. He explains that many homeowners from Northeast hubs like Boston and New York relocated to Tennessee, the Carolinas, and Florida. He says for those who've been living in Nashville for a long time, watching prices surge can seem shocking. But for folks coming from New York or Boston with much higher home values, they can come in and afford to bid up for a home at a level that local residents might not be able to. According to a new study by Bankrate, prospective homebuyers in Tennessee need an annual household income of more than $103,000 to afford the typical home. That's up 76% from 2020. The average income to afford a typical home nationwide is nearly $117,000. Now, the most affordable housing state is West Virginia. The most expensive is the District of Columbia, which more than doubles the national average. Ostrowski says the climb in mortgage rates since the pandemic also drove up the income needed to afford a home.
And Nashville is in that group of fast-growing cities, strong job markets, in migration. So it's a desirable place to live. And so that's good news to an extent. Rising property values are a benefit to some extent. But then at some point it becomes a hindrance to the economy because it's hard for first-time buyers to buy homes.
Ostrowski says if you're struggling to find a starter home, you should consider a range of housing options. He explains that your first home does not have to be your forever home, saying condos and townhomes typically have lower price points. Mark.